Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we went out and we bought a terracotta pot. So let's talk about it. So the reason why I'm so upset about getting this terracotta pot is because I don't like terracotta pots. But if you've seen our last video and our videos before that, you would know that we are getting some drosophyllum lusitanica, which is a carnivorous plant, and I've never grown them before. So it's obviously the first time that I'm ever going to have these plants. And I wanted to grow them inside of plastic pots. But the issue is that plastic pots are firstly not the best for them, but I wanted to try it anyway. And secondly, I couldn't use sphagnum moss at the bottom of the plastic pots, which would prevent soil from leaking through the actual rocks that we put at the bottom. So yeah, we couldn't use the sphagnum moss and we put rocks, but the soil still leaked through, and I really hate that. So I also asked yesterday what you guys think I should do, get a terracotta pot or not, and that video is not out yet, but I'm assuming everyone's gonna say just get a terracotta pot. And anyway, I decided just to get a terracotta pot. So today we are going to go out and get one, and hopefully we should be able to mix up the soil for like the 4th time now and then put it inside of the pot. So yeah, let's start doing that. So if you guys remember, we actually did go out and buy a plastic pot, and obviously we filled it up and everything. And yeah, obviously we're gonna not use that pot anymore, which kind of sucks. You know, I really wish we could have used that pot so we could have uniformity between all the different pots in our collection. But yeah, as I said, we kind of have to use this terracotta pot because it's best for the plants, and also the soil won't leak out, and just makes things a little bit easier for us, especially because it's the first time I've ever owned these plants. So yeah, we will reuse that pot. There's no way that I'm going to throw that pot away. We've decided on it. I'm going to take all the soil out, we're going to mix up the new soil together, put it into the terracotta pot, and we will use that plastic pot for our first colony of carnivorous plants that we will have together. It will most probably be a colony of our Drosophyllum rotundifolia because they're growing very, very quickly. So when they get some big size on them, we'll be able to put them in that pot together, and I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to do that in about 4 months' time when they get nice and big. So we can look forward to that. But anyway, as I said, I started seeing sand falling through the cracks in that pot, and it really, really annoys me. That actually annoys me more than having a terracotta pot. So I decided this morning, you know what, screw it, let's go out, let's go get a terracotta pot. Obviously it's a pot that I don't like, they're quite heavy, they're quite expensive as well, but you know, just gotta suck it up and do it. So let's go out and get our terracotta pot. I have one Nepenthes over here, only one, all by itself. It doesn't look that great either. Look at all these pots. These disgusting terracotta pots. But we have to get one. Probably going to be the ones that we get. Let me do some measurements real quick. So this is the terracotta pot that I'm going to get. It's 27 centimeters in width, which is, you know, basically what we need. And it's about 27 centimeters deep as well. So it's not a plastic pot, and it's very annoying that I even have to get this, but for the plant's sake we have to. And here we go, guys, we're back home. Here's our collection, and here's our really big terracotta pot. Yeah, obviously it's much bigger than the plastic one, so I'll actually get that out for you guys and show you. But I actually want to show you guys how interesting this terracotta pot is. Obviously I've never owned one before because I don't like them, but like they really do absorb water really easily. So let me put it down and show you how cool that is. So here's our previous pot. Let me just get some water. Check this. It literally does absorb it. And now, obviously I've known this, but you know, actually experiencing it is insane. It just literally just absorbs the water. And I guess this is why it really helps the drosophillums, because you know, it just pulls all the water out of the soil. See, I can't move it anymore. It's all dry. You know, why do we even have towels? Like, why don't we just have little terracotta plates everywhere and, you know, just wipe our hands with terracotta? Very, very cool. I never knew that, you know, they were this good at just sucking up the water. I knew they did it, but yeah, this is very cool to see. But anyway, let me show you guys the actual size differences between these two pots. So here we go, guys. You can see that the terracotta pot is much bigger than the plastic one. The terracotta pot is 27 centimeters and this one's 22 centimeters. So this is about 12 inches and that one's about 10 or 11 inches. So yeah, you can see it's much bigger and this will hold a lot more soil. So obviously we have to redo our soil again. So let me actually put the pot inside. You guys should be able to see this really easily then. Look at that. You can fit the whole pot inside and there's still a lot of space. So yeah, we need to make a lot more soil to fill up this pot. A lot more. Let me go and get our mixing buckets and some sand out and yeah, let's start doing this. Okay guys, so I just realized that these pots are recommended for one plant. We're getting 10 seeds. And one of our subscribers recommended or just suggested that we get some peat pots. And this is what many people suggest. And I forgot to get them while I was out at the shop. So I either have to buy 10 terracotta pots or I go get the peat pots now, grow them up in the peat pots, and then see how they do in the peat pots. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go back to the shops and get some peat pots. And then we will, instead of making this whole thing now full of soil, we will just use the peat pots and then we'll just keep these for when they get bigger. So let's go do that. So there's these ones, there's 8 of them, and there's squares, and there's paper ones, and then there's the round circle ones. There's 14 of them, and I'm gonna get the square ones because they're much bigger than the circle ones, so the seeds can stay there for longer. But they have holes at the bottom. But you know, there's nothing else we can really do. So the good thing is that the hardware store, the Home Depot, is actually very close to where I live, so driving out here constantly is actually not an issue because of how close it is. Okay, so I'm going to move these pots back inside and I will take this pot inside of this inside the house so we can do it inside because a little bit noisy outside, so we will just do that real quick. So yeah guys, we're now back inside with all our pots here. As I said, like the neighbors next door, the one that have like that metal fence that you guys have to see is like falling over, they're moving. So obviously there's a lot of noise in their backyard and the neighbors at the back are doing their constant construction. So we're now inside where there's a very noisy dishwasher. So we can't really win, but this is the least noisy place. So I'm going to pot up all of our little pots here and we'll talk a little bit more about why I decided to get these pots and like what you do with them and all that stuff, because as I said before, I wanted to use the plastic pot, but yeah, obviously it's not the best for the plants. Soil leaks through. Yeah, it just got very stressful because obviously I've never grown the plants before. I don't know what I can and can't really do, so I'd rather just follow everything by the book. So let's start doing that. So here we are guys, and here is our pots that we've already filled up with all the soil outside. We'll just use the same soil, there's no point making more because we already have it. And these are our peat pots. As you can see, they like have a hole, but the hole's quite closed, so you know, it's not really an issue. I might actually move this one because this one is like the one that has the biggest hole out of all of them. So let me just go swap this one real quick. Yeah, and there we go guys. Here's our new pot. You see the holes? There's a hole, but there's not actually a hole, if that makes sense. Yeah, don't know why they even bother. But anyway, we will put the soil into these guys and do that on a time lapse for you guys so I don't bore you too much. And there we go guys, I hope you guys understand my admiration for square pots now, because obviously look how well they fit together. If there were these damn circle pots, they would not fit this nicely together and there'd be gaps everywhere, and I really don't like that, but yeah, this looks really good. So these are all 10 of our pots, and let us just water this real quick and we can talk a little bit more about why I'm actually using these pots instead of, you know, just getting more plastic ones or more of those big terracotta ones. Yeah, for some reason, I don't think these pots are very water absorbent. They should be peat pots, but they aren't really absorbing the water. So yeah, that's kind of strange. Maybe they're not supposed to. Anyway, not a big deal. I'll take the water out if I see that there's any damage to the pots. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more about why I'm actually using these pots. So guys, the reason why we are using these little pots here is because simply if we are getting 10 seeds and we're immediately planting these 10 seeds into their final pots, which are those big terracotta ones that we bought earlier today, we will run into quite a few issues. The first one is that one terracotta pot is recommended for one plant. These plants grow really big, 40 centimeters, which, let me check for you guys. So they grow up to 16 inches in cultivation, and they can grow up to 3 or 4 feet in the wild. So obviously, if we put 10 of them into one pot, we will encounter some very serious issues right away. Secondly, as I've said, we are using the terracotta pot instead of plastic because it helps to let the water out, as you saw, and it's recommended for these plants, and I can actually prevent the soil from falling out of the terracotta pots, which I couldn't really do with the plastic ones. And as I've said, soil falling out of a pot irritates me more than what having a terracotta pot would, so just decided to go ahead and get it. But as I said, we're getting 10 of these seeds, so I don't want to put them all into one pot, especially because it's going to be impossible to manage them when they get bigger than that. We're going to have 10 plants in one pot. There's no ways we can separate them because root disturbances kills drosophyllums. So that's why we got these guys. Many people recommend using these pots. Even one of our subscribers recommended that we use these pots first. We're going to put one seed in each of these pots, let them grow up to a reasonable size, and then we can just put this pot straight into that terracotta pot, and the roots will grow out of them, and it'll be very, very easy like that. And this way we can keep them more moist, better, and it just makes life a little bit easier. Yes, obviously it's a little bit more expensive, but for the livelihood and the health of the plants, we should rather do this. So I recommend that if you guys are getting drosophyllums, you do this too. Get a peat pot, fill it up with your soil. We used the same ratios last time. 1 peat, 1 sand to a quart. No, that's wrong. 1 sand to 1 fine perlite to a quarter peat. That's the mixture that we're using. Other people say that you should have some pumice in it or volcano rock. Everyone has their own choices, but the general rule is that it has to be very well draining, full of sand. And Peter D'Amato also states that you shouldn't have more than 20% of the total volume of your soil being peat. So that means you can use 80% sand, perlite, vermiculite, volcano rock, pumice, whatever else, and then less than 20% you can have as peat, because as I say, especially in those pots, you don't want to have the peat there because it holds too much water, and by those pots I mean the plastic pots. It holds too much water and it can rot and kill the plants very, very quickly. So that's why they definitely recommend using the terracotta pots, which is what we're doing now. So let me just give you some more information on these little pots. They are 8.5 centimeters both ways by 8.5 centimeters. So these are very, very, great little plants, great little pots. The size of these are essentially the same size as our long, tall pots. Let me actually go get it so I can show you. So you can see the peat pot fits literally the exact same size as our long pots, 9 centimeters, obviously 9 centimeters as well. But yeah, we can start drosophyllums in these little pots, and then obviously send these pots out to whoever in around Australia, or maybe eventually one day around the world. You can grow our drosophyllums like this, and then obviously you guys will get this pot, and then you guys put this pot into your terracotta pots. So this makes it much easier for us to grow the drosophyllums, because these pots are essentially the perfect size pots that I want for our seedlings that I was talking about in the previous episodes. I want pots literally 9 centimeters by 9 centimeters by 9 or 10 centimeters tall, which is going to be the perfect size to start seedlings and to sell plants in across the world as well. And obviously these are great for you guys who will receive the plants too, because obviously you can get your drosophyllums, all in soil already. You don't have to worry about their roots dying off and the whole plant dying. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on us getting new pots and changing around all the terracotta stuff. Even though I don't like the terracotta pots, we now got it, so hopefully our plants will be very, very happy when they've grown up in these tiny little pots. So if you found this video helpful, please remember to leave a like so that this video can be recommended to other people who are also looking for the same type of information. The same type of information as what you received in this video. Just help those people out too, and also obviously the channel helps the channel grow out a little bit too. And if you watched the whole video, please consider subscribing to the channel, because that means that you enjoyed this video. And obviously we release videos just like this, so if you want to see more of that, please remember to subscribe to the channel to see our weekly videos. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's FAQ video, which you guys really enjoyed last week, so I hope that you guys enjoyed tomorrow's FAQ video as well. So I'll see you in the next episode.